The setup interview launches automatically to assist you in configuring the program by asking a series of questions. The information you provide in the interview is used to set up basic program options, customize features, and set up hardware. Also, there's an option to sign up for the QuickBooks Point of Sale merchant and gift card services. If you have to access the menu manually, you can go to File and then go to Setup Interview. If you are not prepared to complete a section, skip the section until later. You can always return to the interview at any time to change most choices. The program settings configured during the interview can also be reviewed or revised later by accessing the company or workstation preferences from the File menu. The preference windows are also where you can set up more advanced options that are not covered in this interview. Okay, we will start by adding the store name. We'll go ahead and we'll name that Al's Sports Hut. And the address, we'll use 123 Anywhere Lane. And the city, we'll name any city. We will put Michigan. And we'll just use any zip code there. Okay, and then in the other info section, you can enter in a phone number, and that will show on the receipt. And you can also enter a email address, website information, and then you can change the receipt message if you want to. Once you're done with that, you can click Next, and it will take you over to the next tab, which is the Sales Tax tab. As you complete the setup interview, you are asked to enter a primary sales tax rate and the agency to which you pay the sales tax collected. Based on this information, Point of Sale creates two default sales tax codes, one taxable and one non-taxable. For a single tax location, identified as local sales tax. When a sale is made, sales tax is automatically calculated and added to all taxable items according to the tax structure. If the situation requires the collection of different tax rates based on the type of merchandise being sold or where the customer lives, enter the rate charged most often, and then later, after completing the setup interview, set up other tax rates and advanced options in company preferences as described in the following section. So for sales tax in the state of Michigan, they charge 6%. So we will highlight the 7 and we will change that to a 6. And then for the name of the tax agency, we pay it to the state of Michigan. And we can click Next, and that will take care of the sales tax. After you've been approved for Intuit Merchant Credit Cards, Intuit will send you a welcome email. This email will ask that you set up your account password. Once you set up your password, you can set up your QuickBooks Point of Sale to accept credit cards from customers. Your email and password information should be kept in a file because this is how you also log in to your Merchant Center account. In the Setup Interview tab under Payments, choose Yes to accept credit and debit cards. Then click into the Sign In button. You will enter your email address and your password. And then you will click on the Sign In. Now if you have any questions or if you need help, you can call the number listed below at 800-348-0254. We will click Sign In. Intuit's searching for the account. And I don't think they're going to find this because this one is set up with my other credit cards. Okay, so they didn't find anything. If that happens with you, you can go ahead and you can call Intuit and they can help you out with that. Otherwise, it will say that you're signed in. And once that step is completed, you will not have to set up again unless you reinstall the software. You can also edit your payment preferences within this window. We will discuss the payments preference setting later when we go through the company preference section. Overall, integrating with Intuit credit cards saves you multiple steps that will save time at checkout plus time when you're reconciling. In other words, credit, debit, and gift card sales can be processed, settled, and reported within the point of sale. Next, we will go to the gift cards. To apply for gift cards, simply apply online by clicking that button or call 1-888-623-0387. Keep in mind that you must have an Intuit Payments account in order to have gift cards. You'll configure Point of Sale for the attached hardware after you create the company data file and as you complete the setup interview. The Hardware Setup Wizard is launched automatically when you configure your hardware in the setup interview. If you add hardware in the future, you can manually access the Setup Wizard from the File menu or from the hardware configuration pages in the workstation. Do not connect hardware to your computer until instructed to do so by the wizard. If you are installing non-Intuit hardware, the wizard may prompt you to use the manufacturer's CD or instructions to install the device. When finished, return to the Setup Wizard and continue. If you have multiple workstations, the Hardware Wizard setup is launched automatically or can run manually from each workstation. Optionally, hardware can be set up in the Workstation Preferences. From the File menu, select Preferences and then choose Workstation. And then you can select the hardware type from that preference list. When you configure the hardware for the first time, label the cords to the USB ports. If for some reason you need to move the equipment, it will be very simple to match it up to the correct port. Otherwise, you'll need to reconfigure each piece of equipment to the computer. This tip will save you much time and aggravation. The interview complete page appears when the interview is finished and you are ready to begin using Point of Sale on the server workstation.